Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, RJ the Balance Blue, joined by my fellow co-host, legends, Scott the Gooner, Rob the Red Devil. We have a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. 3 wins for all of our teams. The room is buzzing. Scott, happy birthday for the other day, first of all. You've lost a few years there, but you're still looking as sharp as ever. How you feeling?
Yeah, mate, good. You only turned 21 once, so you got to make the most of it, enjoy the moments. But it was not nice to spend some time with the fam. Kept it pretty low key this year. I'm getting on, mate. I'm past my prime. But a good result for
None
my
of that.
birthday
None
too.
of that, mate. You're not past your prime. You're entering your prime, just like the
Yeah,
Gunners,
I
man.
reckon. Jeez Louise.
Robbie?
Yeah, good man. Again, happy birthday again, boy, for the weekend. I'm glad the Gunners got some points for you. Had a beaming weekend by the look of it, and yeah, all 3 of us have got off the red W on the same week, so it should be a good one tonight.
Speaking of dubs, we got some dubs in the live chat, which we'll get to in a moment. But just a preview of tonight, massive weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal reassert their dominance at the top. Liverpool continue their downward spiral in very unfamiliar territory. United, CR700, congratulations to that living legend that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Great to come from behind victory. Chelsea, very impressive against the Wolves. And of course, Newcastle and City, very big wins. So we'll go through all of that, plus the UCL's big ticket matches. But Scott, we've got a show to run.
Absolutely. Let's get straight into it. We've got some champions here. We've got Tom from the United Pubcast, CR7 Goat. And make sure you check them boys out. Marty's here. Nice to have Marty back in the live. We've missed you, Marty. We've missed you, mate. And make sure you check his content out. He's putting out some great A-League stuff at the moment. George is here. Evening, George. Shano's here. I saw an old tweet of Shane's dug up from last season that if Arsenal finish above Newcastle, he's getting the cannon tattooed. So maybe we'll go and get them together 2 for 1. The concierge is here. Declared is here. My pro club striker. Daniel's here. And Geordie is here. So welcome, everyone. Let's get straight into the football, though, boys. And why don't we start with your boys, RJ, the Chelsea boys. Potter's magic touch, 3-0, 3 and easy. What more do you want?
What more do you want? 3 points, 2 back-to-back 3-0 victories. There was lots to like about this result, fellas. The performance itself, it might seem emphatic, but you know what? We deserved every bit of it. And the best part about it was that we were heavily rotated. We swapped out 7 players, brought 7 in. There's a lot of squad competition vying for a starting berth. And there's just some positive vibes. The new manager bounce is well and truly in effect. I was listening to a good podcast earlier, straight out of Cobham, that's run by The Athletic. And the guest at the time was talking about it's not necessarily a case of Graham Potter inherently being a lot better than Tuchel. But it's just like with many things when you get these new managers, and he is a good manager, but there is that positive vibes happening at the moment. They are playing a lot more attacking based on the stats, and you can see it on the eye test. They are more forward thinking. But the quality of the goals, Christian Pulisic's from Mason Mount's reverse pass, the great header, looping header by Kai Havertz, and the first for the young striker, Armando Broja. Fantastic finish, great pass from the Croatian sensation, Mateo Kovacic. But we're just firing in all cylinders. Reece James, arguably the best right back in the world at the moment, a lot better than his competitor, Trent Alexander-Arnold, which we'll get onto shortly. But honestly, boys, just lots of positivity at the moment. The real downside for us is just the continued absence of N'Golo Kante. He continues to battle fitness injuries. But aside from that, we're looking pretty hot at the moment. So, yeah, early days, but lots to be happy about.
I think at this point, RJ, with Kante, you just assume he's not going to be there. Assume he's not going to be there. I don't even see it as like an absence issue now because you very rarely have him anyway. So if I'm Graham Potter, I want to make sure that I don't even think about Kante as my starting lineup. I need to have a plan. If I've got him there, bonus. But if not, just pretend he's not even there at the moment.
Even if he's good for half the games. I think as long as he's good for the big matches, that's good enough. But just a quick shout out to Conor Gallagher as well. He's been immense. And Trevor Chalobah, ever since he's come in for Wesley Fofana, been really, really solid and doesn't get enough plaudits. So just wanted to throw him into the mix.
A good result for Chelsea. Before we get on to our teams, of course, Robbie, interesting question from George, and this brings up one of the talking points. Is it too early to say that Wolves and Villa are in a relegation battle? Well, one of the things we wanted to discuss tonight, because for me as an Arsenal fan, I'm finding it, I've got to keep myself grounded, because football can come at you viciously if you get overconfident. And I keep hearing all this talk about Arsenal being in a title race, and I'm not really entertaining title race talk at the moment. I think it's still too soon. But let's look at the bottom of the table and address George's question, and then let's talk about the top. Now, I think it's a lot easier for me to talk about a relegation battle than a title race at this point. When you look down there, let's address his question head on. Is it too early to say Wolves and Villa are in a relegation battle? Rob, what do you think?
Wolves, yes, for me. Villa, I still think it's a couple more games. If they continue like this, then yes. Wolves definitely for me, but I've been saying this since last season. I reckon they've been downward spiraling since Santos left. And I think they're going to struggle. Leicester, we won't get into all of them. Leicester, again, I still think they've got enough quality in that team to get out, even though they're sitting right at the bottom at the moment. But just quickly, a quick shout out to Bournemouth. I think we all tipped them to go down this year, and mate, they've climbed the ladder. I feel like in 1 week they've just gone from here to here. Like a couple, they've got the manager bounce and a couple good results, and they're like, where are they? Like sitting around mid-table or something. That's pretty massive. I have to give credit to them.
There they are, 12 points, 8th position.
And they look terrible at the start of the season.
Looking back down here, if you had to put your money, let's just say on 2 teams. We're not betting men, but if we were, and we had to put our money on 2 teams at this point to go down, who are your 2 teams, Rob?
Wolves and Southampton.
Wolves and Southampton. Interesting. What about you, RJ? And do you think it's too early for a relegation battle?
I still think Bournemouth are going to go down. They're a few points ahead, but one loss, their goal difference, and they're back in 16th, 17th again. So,
and they've had a game. They've had a
game extra.
Well,
So I don't know, too early, boys. But Villa, very underwhelming at the moment, and Leicester, like I said, Rodgers is doing a very good job to not get the axe just yet. So we'll see.
Look, for me, I think Leicester are in real trouble. They did not invest in this team in January, and for me, it was criminal neglect. How do you get that money for Fofana but not invest? It's insane. If they were counting on Jamie Vardy to do what he's been doing this season, it's just insane. I think Leicester are going to get punished, and if I had to put my money on them, I'd do it at the moment, because I've seen nothing from not only Brendan Rodgers and the squad, but from the owners and management to show me that they're serious about staying up. So Leicester, for me, looking dreadful, and I think Forest just too many new pieces. They've given it a red-hot crack. But how you get all those pieces to gel, I don't know. And credit to their manager getting a new contract right after Robbie asked us to clip it and being sacked. Clip it, Robbie.
Seriously,
they must have been watching. They must have been watching the show.
What do you think of that? Honestly, I think that's mental. I don't understand. And it's not like it's a short-term contract too. It's like 2025 or something. So unless they think he's the right manager to bring him back up again, I can't understand it. If he goes on another 3, 4, 5 games losing streak, what do you do there?
Will not sack him. Clearly, they're committed to him and what he's got to offer. Let's look at the top of the table. Arsenal still at the top. 1 loss, 24 points. City 1 point behind. They haven't lost yet, but 2 disappointing draws to them. And then you got Spurs on 20, Chelsea 16, United 15. Is it too soon to talk about a title race, lads? RJ, What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. Promising signs for Arsenal, but I saw a stat the other day about them being in this position previously and being the only team to throw it away twice, both times. So obviously doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but you'd be a bit premature to start talking title race. Just keep getting those wins, but I still think City They're a different team when they want to be. They're top quality. We should talk about them now, actually, because I was watching that game, and the quality of those finishers from all the players in that team, Cancelo, like De Bruyne, the way he laid off that pass to Foden, and then Haaland again, only scored one goal. He's
One goal,
definitely
mate.
lost
What a
it.
flop.
He's lost it. I know. He needs to get sold. I think he has a 200 million clause apparently for non-Premier League teams. So they
I
should
wouldn't
activate
activate
it
him,
soon.
mate. Not for Gabriel Jesus.
Definitely not. So just talking City, they're getting a bit boring to watch. It's like death taxes, Haaland scoring, City winning. So Arsenal doing a good job to keep them honest, but I just think it's a matter of time because they're a relentless machine.
Yeah, look, it's hard to argue with you. And I mean, tongue in cheek about Haaland being a Jadon Sancho level flop. I mean, the guy's been unreal. Sorry, I can't help it. You know I can't help it. But it's true. City are so good that it's almost kind of boring. I mean, for a football purist, you would have to enjoy the football they play. But it's kind of disappointing turning on a match and knowing exactly what the result will be. But you never know. Injuries, a World Cup. I think for them, the best thing is that Haaland's not playing that World Cup. So they're going to have him fit and raring to go. So it's going to be interesting. Let's talk about my Arsenal, though, because that was another really impressive result. We overcame the hoodoo because for us, we've struggled against Liverpool over the years. Like it was more for me, it was about the mental block than the 3 points themselves. We needed to convince ourselves that we could beat this Liverpool team. No matter what their form is, they actually played pretty well against us. Now, I know we're going to take the piss out of Liverpool a bit tonight, but I thought they played a good game of football, and they were potentially a little bit unlucky. As you and I have been saying today, Rob, I'd have felt sorry for them about some of the calls if they hadn't had 3 times as many of those calls against us over the years. So this is football. It's inconsistent, poor officiating. The handball from Gabriel, look, it did hit his chest first. And the rules are if it hits the body and then the hand, I think that rules it out as a handball. But I could be wrong. Happy to be told I'm wrong. I'm happy with Arteta. I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy with what Chelsea database is saying down there. But I most importantly am not getting carried away just yet. It was about overcoming that barrier, showing we could beat them, and inflicting more pain on Liverpool. Robbie, we know you love Liverpool. What did you make of that match? Surely you saw it. It was a cracking match.
I think we all said all the United fans will be cheering on for Arsenal this week, man. We hate Liverpool and we're loving seeing this little spiral of pain at the moment, mate. So look, I never want to see injuries on players. It's upsetting what happened to Diaz, but 10 weeks out is a massive loss. So he won't be back till after the World Cup, mate. They're world class. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk and Salah. Where's Salah, mate? The guy has done nothing all year since that contract extension.
I said that,
honestly,
didn't I?
You said it. You called it, mate. Since that contract extension, and I keep saying Mane was a big miss in this team. Right now that we're actually seeing how much of a miss he is, but yeah, this guy's done nothing. The Ballon d'Or contender that he is, like, yes, he's been consistent, but you got to do it every year and you got to do it every game, mate. And right now in this season, he's not doing it at all. He's not. He's getting not even tap-ins. Nothing's working for him. Mr. What's his name? Nunez that they bought for 100 million. You know, what an idiot. He scores a goal and goes like this when like the game's 10 minutes.
You saw who was crying at the end.
Yeah, hard. So look,
you know what's scary though, Rob? You know what's scary about this Liverpool situation? Because we're all having a bit of a giggle at it at the moment, right? We're all having a bit of a laugh. But what's scary is that we know there is money around Liverpool. We know they're not used to not being towards the top of the table, particularly in recent times. I worry that January will come and they'll get behind Klopp. Klopp's still got plenty of credit in the bank with them. And they're going to go and target guys like Bellingham and players of that ilk to come in and really step them up because the center of the park's atrocious for them. Atrocious.
Personally, I don't think they'll do anything in January. I think obviously there'll be a fight for someone like a Bellingham next year between a few clubs, but they've never been big spenders either. But like, it's not to say they won't get anyone, but they're not the type of people that go in and spend big. They normally spend smart. And
They
but
did
yeah, it's
spend
just
big on like Nunez. They spent
Nunes.
big money
Besides
there.
that, I think it was Van Dijk when 75
And
million. That was quite a few,
Allison.
yeah, but that
Yeah,
was like
big
in
money.
rebuild quite a few years ago. They haven't done that like recently, kind of thing. Besides Nunes, so I don't know. I don't see nothing big happening in thing. But yeah, it's just good to see how Klopp is not very taking the whole Liverpool's just not taking this very well. And look again on their day when they turn the switch, they can shoot straight up there. So I'm enjoying it while we can. But I'm disappointed that you're not you're very level headed at the moment. Last year when you were 4th, 5th, 6th, you were talking it up every 5 seconds. Now that you guys are consistently been at the top, you're talking it down. I don't know what's the go here.
Look, for me, it's pretty simple, man. I learnt a little bit from locking in 4th position too early.
Could you lock 4th in now?
Top 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy to lock that. Obviously, I can't believe I've done it again. As long as there's no big injury crisis or like extraordinary.
Yes or
event.
no? Is it locked in? The crowd wants to know. No
Yeah.
caveats. That's it.
As long as we don't get like 6 leg breaks in our starting lineup, then yeah, of course I'm happy to lock it in at the moment. We're in a good place, man. It's not just the players, it's the fans. The club, the fans, the stuff. It's all in a good place at the moment. And winning is a culture. Winning becomes a culture. And at the moment, we're living that. We've just got to keep doing it. I saw a comment earlier from Borche before I come to you, RJ. Who have Arsenal played so far? Well, we played a team that have held Man City to a draw. We played Spurs. We played Liverpool. We played United. And not me, but many people from both sides are saying we were the better team. I wasn't happy we lost. So we played some good teams. This Premier League is a hard league. There are no easy matches. Every match is a tough match, and that's why we love the league. So, yeah, we've played some big matches, and we'll just have to see what happens. RJ, quick thoughts on the Arsenal-Chelsea match before we move on.
Arsenal, yeah, no, understood. Don't bring Liverpool down to our category, mate. But look, Arsenal. It's hard to say this, but they're building that winning, consistent mentality. It's still very early. It's 9 games in. It's 9, 10 games in, whatever. But you're winning. You lost to United, disappointingly, but aside from that, have looked pretty strong. And you only get better. You can only prove the doubters wrong by keep doing what you're doing. But like you said, a couple of key injuries and the landscape changes, or a couple of those results go south. Because make no mistake, you will encounter a difficult period. Have you guys learned from last season in terms of how you respond? Because Liverpool, I get what you're saying. Traditionally, you've struggled against them, but they're not a good barometer to see whether or not you've improved or not, because they've looked the shadow of themselves. Another 3 goals they've shipped in, some very pedestrian and stationary defending. They just look all 6s and 7s, and it's really tragic, as we all know. We're all big Liverpool fans here. Yeah. But anyway, in all seriousness, Arsenal, begrudgingly, are looking too strong at the moment, but I'm looking forward to when we get a chance to have a crack at you guys and see if we can take you down a peg or two.
Well, you know what? We've had good form against you in recent times, so I'm looking forward to it too. Don't go too far, because we are going to talk about some Champions League matches later in the show, so make sure you stick around. And look, just to wrap the Arsenal part up, I can't really give my thoughts on it at the moment because we don't actually know what was allegedly said. All I'd say is, of course, if it was a racist comment, which is what's being alleged, then you'd hope that Henderson's punished, because rightfully so. That has no place in society or football. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let the FA do their investigating. It's on them right now. But something must have been said that really, really kicked it off. So let's move on. Robbie, your team continuing their good form. The Ten Hag era is underway. Quickly talk about your result against Lampard's boys.
Yeah, look, very happy against this one, to be honest. For those who caught the game, I think, especially first half, I think this was our best performance of the season in the first half. Completely dominated them, 70-30 in possession. They got the early goal under 10 minutes from a mistake, which I have to say was a class finish from Alex Iwobi, banger of a goal. But yeah, again, came from a mistake. coincidentally, we've hit back quite quickly with a similar. They made a break. They made a mistake, and we quickly transitioned a bit of a breakaway, and Martial put Anthony in with a nice finish to level it up. Unfortunately, as Martial has been this season, he's got a very good goals and assist contribution, but he's barely been on the pitch. That's the only bad thing. So yeah, he copped another injury after 27 minutes, and in came Mr. Goat himself, CR7, and then just before half time, put us in front with, that's his first goal of the Premier League season too. So a bit of monkey off his back for the year, and a really nice taking goal. Casemiro turned from villain, from zero to hero as he made the intercept and tackle and gave the assist to Ronaldo to put him through on goal. I really thought we should have done a little bit more in that half goal-wise. We did create quite a lot of chances, and Everton offered next to nothing in that first half. Besides the goal, De Gea didn't even see the ball till nearly the 70th minute. That's 70th minute is where they got their first corner. Obviously the 80th minute is where we had that controversial decision where our third goal, which would have been the put the game to bed goal, that got ruled offside. In my opinion, it should have.
It was handball, wasn't it? Not offside.
Yeah, sorry, handball. The handball, and it's a. Again, look, I'm not going to whinge about it as much, but if that came down to a winning goal, or if Everton ended up equalising in that last 10 minutes when they threw the kitchen sink and played long ball FC, then that's points dropped that would have been from a controversial decision. That 2 hours before, all we've seen many decisions in that same day were goals. That Mikel Antonio goal from West Ham was pretty much identical. 50-50 challenge, come off the body, hit up on the arm. That one's a goal. This one's not a goal. And this one, I reckon, is more of a goal than his. You can clearly see his one come off the arm as well. But look, we end up getting the points. Like I said, they did throw the kitchen sink at us from the 80th minute onwards, and they did have to come up with a clutch save. But I think we defended well. We played well. And, if you were to ask me this after our performance after the Europa League on Friday morning, I wasn't confident already. So after that, we had to come behind from a very not great team in the Europa League. We made a bit of a mess, but we got over the line with that. But yeah, to come back and bounce back after copping it from City last week, I'm very, very happy with that result.
Well said, well said. I didn't catch this one outside the highlights, RJ, so I don't know if you had any comments you wanted to add on the match.
It was pretty fair. And I saw Rob had a nice exchange with a Chelsea fan about it. The reality is the goals were all from mistakes, all of them. United's one, he was a good tackle. The ones that they scored were very sloppy, like actually losing the ball and passing it basically to United, which they expertly capitalised on. There's no criticism. It all's really well worked goals. Frank Lampard, who we've been praising for the last X amount of weeks because they've had a pretty good run, he was very frank, so to speak, and came out and said after the game, there were a lot of lessons today. There was a lack of edge to our game, which is normally there. We were off it in the first half. I also think we can improve our calmness in possession. We'll work on it and we're developing. Very honest. He was right. Everton was second best. What I will say is I actually thought that was a fair call for the handball, but the Antonio one, as a result, should have also been disallowed then if that's the case. It's the consistency that's a problem because I feel sorry for Rashford. When the ball hits his foot and he's just running, and it does hit his arm. Obviously, it's touched his hand and it's propelled the ball forward and it's led to a goal. Like, that's the rule. The ball hits his arm.
Is it clear and obvious, but for that to be called back?
Well, you saw it. Well, the reason why he got that opportunity is because things slid in. It's hit the ball off his leg and ricocheted and hit his arm. If his arm's not there, the ball bounces behind him, but his arm contributes it to going into the direction he's running. So he wouldn't have got that chance had his arm inadvertently diverted the ball in the right direction.
Come off his chest part as well.
No, but it didn't hit his hand.
Though, boys. It's
about that's what it is.
I think Nick Bucco, who's been on here before, played in Adelaide. I saw him talking to someone about the one at Arsenal, and apparently in the rules, and I know we've got people in here who are more knowledgeable than I am, if it ricochets off the player's body then to the hand, I don't think it can be called. So,
well, it must be, man. I think it must be because it's directly contributed to him going on target because it ricocheted, but it's a handball leading to it. What game did RJ watch? If Borche's telling me that the ball didn't hit the arm at all, then I'm just not here at the moment. And the same thing with Antonio, though. Same with Antonio. Shouldn't have counted because it's led to him getting that opportunity. You know what I mean? It's a slack rule. That's why. The rule's the problem itself. But I feel sorry for him. But I actually thought they got that one right, the Antonio one wrong. But that's just me.
Fair shout. Look, I think what we want is consistency, isn't it, boys? That's
100%.
That's the main thing. Fans just want to understand decisions. And I think, again, as we said a million times, hearing those conversations that go on wherever they're doing their VAR decisions, that adds more transparency. And I think that would alleviate plenty of problems. So let's move on. Were there any other results quickly that you guys wanted to touch on? Obviously, we saw a great win for West Ham in their London derby, 3-1. Maybe a moment to talk about Newcastle, boys, because 5-1, they dismantled the Bees. Bruno Guimaraes is one of the 4 midfielders in the league. He's been amazing. Any quick words you want to add on our Newcastle friends, Robbie?
Yeah, look, another quality performance. Again, they've done it to Fulham, I think, the other week. Again, as we said last week, defensively they've been really good, but now they're really adding goals to their game. And, I think they've racked up nearly 10 goals in the last 2 or 3 matches. So, yeah, definitely hit in form. I didn't realize, as Shane said before, I didn't realize they've only had the 1 loss all season. That was, like I said, that 98th minute goal from Liverpool. So unlucky there. So, look, I know we'll talk about them more Thursday night. We've got them this weekend. And, look, they are going to be a challenge of a team. They're looking good. Trippier's really standing up as a captain and contributing all over the pitch. Bruno Guimaraes is playing Isaac's out injured, but other boys are stepping up and scoring goals. And, yeah, look, we all know that Brentford's not an easy beat either, even though they haven't been in the best of form the last couple of weeks. They're doing exactly what Arsenal are doing. They're beating whoever's in front of them at the moment, or they're getting points and getting results, and they're doing it the right way. So, yeah, all respect for them at the moment.
I didn't realise you have them this coming weekend. We might have to speak to Paul. We might have to flash up the bat light and get Paul on here.
He hates United fans, mate. It won't be very.
That's why I love it. That's why I love it. I'll back Paul up. I'm sure Robbie, RJ will back.
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to flash the bat light and send Paul a message. We'll see. Shano, get on his back as well, mate. He listens to you.
As long as there's no controversial calls, mate, it will never hear the end of it. That's all I want to say. Poor United.
RJ, quickly, some words on Newcastle, mate. Are they looking the real deal? Are you seeing big improvements from last season? And do you think they're a good shot at these European spots?
Oh, I think they're definitely putting themselves in the mix. They've had time to gel, learn more of the manager's methods, which, again, everybody's talking about getting all the big players in. But I think a lot of people really devalue or not appreciate how important it is to have a proper preseason and let the manager work their methods in. So that's why I think we're seeing a lot more consistency from Newcastle. But, yeah, for sure, like you look at their results, they've been a little bit up and down, but they have improved markedly defensively. And defense is, for the long term, a much stronger indicator of how successful you're going to go, because anybody could score 3-6 goals in a match, ask Man City, but it's your defense, man. It's your defense. And that's what I think Newcastle, they're shaping in the right direction, which is scary for teams like us, like that are just in that top 4 race at the moment. But, yeah, they're doing good things under Eddie Howe.
Speaking of good things, we've got Emad in here. We love Emad from Man Cave United. Make sure you check him out. But look, plenty of positives at Newcastle, plenty of exciting football that we were treated to over the weekend. And we know that we've got some more fantastic football coming up this week. We have the return of the Champions League. Feels like it's coming up quick. And it's funny to believe, guys, we've got a World Cup getting very close. So we'll have to... sorry?
A month away, pretty much today, I think.
About a month. Like, we've only got a month left of this football before we get to that. Like, it's insane to think about, and you just have to think of what kind of impact that might have on the players and the league in the second half. But for now, I'm just going to scroll through some of the tantalizing fixtures we've got. Robbie, you're our European football correspondent, so I'm going to give you first dibs on any fixtures that you see here. If you can't find any, we'll let RJ start with AC Milan and Chelsea. But we've got AC, Chelsea, Zagreb, Salzburg, Big Angers, Celtic against Leipzig, Donetsk, Madrid, Copenhagen, who are going to get brutalised by City, Dortmund, Sevilla, Juve, PSG. What there stands out for you, Rob? Or do you want to hand it on to RJ?
Well, look, I'll give the honours to RJ because I think the game of the day will be AC Milan and Chelsea. Very big for who takes that clutch spot towards the top of the table now. If they got a very good win at the Bridge, if they can go to the San Siro and do the double in 2 weeks, I think that's massive for Chelsea, and they should take control of that group. But I'll leave that with RJ to expand on that.
Well, the good thing is the dynamic of the group has shifted following our very good 3-0 win at the Bridge against AC. As I said, AC are not at full strength. They have got Theo Hernandez back. It's a big inclusion. Nice. What it does make is for another tantalising clash between Rafael Leao and Reece James, battle 2.0, but obviously Hernandez comes and adds another complication. I think they're going to be a lot stronger at home. They've got a lot to make up for. AC had a very good win against Rob's Juventus, 2-0. And I can see the boys fired up for Kaya Tomori, ex-Chelsea player, came out and said that wasn't the real AC Milan that you saw against Chelsea at the Bridge. So I think they've got a point to prove. I do think there is a lot of positivity amongst the Chelsea ranks at the moment, and they did have the advantage of being able to rest a few players to be able to think with the Milan game in mind. But it's a hostile environment. I could very much see this one being a draw, but Chelsea now do not need to treat this game as a must-win because the balance of the group has swung back in their favour. I think if there was a draw last game or a loss, we'd come out a lot more guns blazing. But what I'm hoping is that we start with a strong team in terms of our best possible lineup. We go hard and aggressive, try to put the game to the bed, not early, but just enough to put us at arm's length. So then we can be able to rest for the rest of the actual group stages because, October's a huge month in terms of the fixture congestion.
Spot on. Obviously, as Aussies, as Corma's saying here, welcome to the chat and nice to see a new name. Celtic Leipzig is a massive game, must win for Chelsea. It certainly is because win for Celtic. Because if Celtic win this, they're back in contention, even for that third spot. It's looking a little bit miserable for them at the moment. But 3 points here for Postecoglou's men at least puts them in contention to drop into the Europa League, at least when that happens. And we want to see them picking up points. This is a very winnable game for them. So it's at home. Leipzig, not an amazing team. Let's see what they can do. Robbie, any of those matches stand out for you, mate, before we look at the next day's fixtures?
No, Tim, we'll go to the next day's fixtures.
I just want to highlight for Manchester City, because they've got Liverpool coming up, I could see them very much rotating a lot of the players in this squad to sort of think
still winning 5-0.
that. And still winning 5-0. Exactly. So it just shows you the strength of that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking here, high-flying Napoli against Ajax. They're playing some very good football, repping the Italian league quite well. Rangers at home to Liverpool, going to be intense. We know that. We got Madrid and Bruges, Leverkusen and Porto, Barca, Inter.
That should be good again.
Mm-hmm.
After last week as well. That'll be good.
Cannot wait. And Spurs against Frankfurt, Sporting and Marseille. Spurs should take that. Yes, boys? It's at home.
Yes, should. In thing, they haven't been great in the Champions League, obviously. I think they had a draw actually in this one last week, and the return fixture was 0-0 possibly, and the week before that they lost 2-0 to Sporting. So they really do need to get a win at home, but I don't think it's just going to be a rollover easy from Frankfurt either.
No, certainly not. And obviously one of the big matches of this round, probably the feature match, is Barca at home to Inter. Gents, let's share some thoughts on that. Your boys again, RJ, your Inter Milan boys. Quickly give us some thoughts on that.
Yeah, they had a very hard-fought 1-0 win last week, obviously at the San Siro. It's a big difference going to play at the Camp Nou. You naturally expect Barcelona to completely dominate the ball, and we're going to really be up against it and have to have full concentration because we're going to do a lot of off-the-ball chasing. But that said, we did manage to conjure up a fair few chances when we do get the ball, because Inter Milan, they're not like a League Two side, with all due respect. They are a quality bunch of players, with Barella obviously in the middle steering the ship. When we do manage to enjoy a little bit of possession, because Barcelona might find that by permanently parking in our half, if they get no success, they might sort of allow us to get a little bit of the ball while they recharge and try to draw us out to create some space. When that happens and we're able to hopefully keep them at 0-0, we are a team that can create openings, and we've got enough dangerous players that can cause some real headaches. And even off the bench with Dzeko, there depends who starts up top. Obviously, Martinez is our star striker, but yeah, no, look, it's not a foregone conclusion. I think generally speaking, Barcelona will dominate the play, but I could very much see us, as long as we keep in the fight, we can walk away, I reckon, with a solid draw here. I do think we won't win it. I still think Barcelona are good for a goal at least. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating clash, tactically speaking.
Robbie, any closing words on any of the Champions League fixtures, mate?
No, look, I think it's all wrapped up nicely. That, like I said, the Inter Barca games will be really good. I do think that Inter will get their chances on the break. Like RJ said, I think it's going to be very possession based. I think it's going to be very dominated by especially they're the ones that are under pressure, because I think they're sitting possibly third in this group at the moment. And if they don't get all 3 points in this one, which their crowd would be wanting out of this, they could be in the Europa League as well. And so yeah, this could be very interesting tactically, like RJ said.
Very good, gents. Well, we have reached that part of the evening where we move on to some quickfires. We've recapped the Arsenal-Liverpool result. We've talked Chelsea United, title challenges, relegation battles, and some Champions League football, of course. And we will be back on Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. We'll see what we can do about a guest, but it should be a cracker with some big matches coming up. Boys, quickfires. I'm going to start us off. And then we'll go to you. Foodie, tonight, I haven't got any guess who's ready, but have you got any hidden gems? And by that, I mean places to go and eat that maybe don't have a big name or don't look like a trendsetter, but is a great feed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's big or not, but I'll throw in the Italian Food Project. I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but yeah, down in Camden, it's a local, and it always puts out a good feed.
Beautiful. RJ?
On the theme of Italian, there's a very good one in the city called Bar Reggio. It's quite a small place. I don't think you boys have been there either, actually. We'll have to go check it out sometime.
Get the wallet out. Take the boys.
It's that secret. Hey, mate, I'm just a humble public servant, mate. I'm not rich like you, Scott. It's your birthday. You probably got a stack of money. Bar Reggio, Crown Street, Darlinghurst, go check it out.
Look, for me, I'll change the genre up for any fans of Chinese food. George Street in Liverpool, there's a little place on the corner, looks seedy, but it's far from seedy food. It's called Cool Kitchen. And
it's no Golden King, Scott.
Nah, mate, don't worry about Golden King. It's spelled Cool Kitchen with a K. Best Chinese food, great price, good tea as well. But that's me. I only had one. I was very unorganized today. I'm back to work, boys, so not my fresh self. What about you, Robbie?
Quick fires, boys, yes or no? Predict the future. Will Arsenal be in the Champions League next year? We're kind of touching this at the start, but we'll lock it in for now.
Lock it in. Clip it, lock it, put it on the billboard.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh. I'm going to say yes, they will do it this year. Will United win a trophy this year of any kind?
No.
Don't think so.
I agree. I don't think we will either. And will Potter be manager of Chelsea after 2 seasons?
Absolutely. Clip it, as the young kids like to say.
So, you'll be lucky to get 2 months, I reckon.
It's a long-term project, boys. Come on.
Yeah, you guys always have long-term projects.
That's it. Well,
I don't know. I'm gonna go yes on this one. I'm gonna say I think you will be.
Good answer.
Oh, there you go. Look, Rob, you have won a cup, mate.
We did. We won the big the Bangkok Cup. I remember that. Yeah, it was good against Liverpool.
Plastic fans. Come on.
Yeah, I know, mate. I'm surprised they're not Arsenal fans, mate, with their Audi Cups or Spurs fans or whatever they are.
That's them. That's not us. Let's go, aren't they?
All right. Would you rather score a free kick or hit a volley from outside the box? So the free
Volleys from
kick's
outside the
obviously
box.
volley outside the box, Scott.
Volley.
Would you rather have the pace of Mbappe or the passing range of De Bruyne?
The pace of Mbappe. I'm a winger.
I've already got the pace of Mbappe, so I'll probably say De Bruyne's passing range.
Well, I've got both, so I'd rather just be Mason Mount. No, just kidding. I'd say the passing range of De Bruyne. Just love his thing.
You're a midfielder, but that's why.
Yeah,
True at heart. And
You got any
last
others?
one. Yeah, last one. Name a player from your club, current and past, that you'd like to have a night out with. So there's three of you, past and present player from your club.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go Bruno Fernandes. I think he'd be really down to earth. I think he'd be good.
Cry the whole night, mate.
Casual. Look who's talking, mate. You're the biggest ninja on this
enough.
pod.
Now, boys, break it up. And who's the past player you would take?
I'll take Bex out.
Very good.
Who's
paying?
Bex.
For me, I'd probably go past player Ian Wright. I think he'd be a bit of a party boy. He'd be fun. From the current squad, this where Aubameyang was good to have in the team because he was a go-to, but not Ramsdale, not Saliba. He'd bring over the ladies. No, probably Gabriel Jesus, mate. Brazilians know how to party. So myself, Jesus, and Ian Wright. What a night.
If you only go Brazilian, you could have went Martinelli. I think he'd be better to go out than Jesus. He looks like a bit of a party animal.
We'll see.
I reckon. For me, I'd have to go for past player. It's my favourite. I'd have to go Super Frank. But if I didn't go him, I'd have to go JT. He seems like he has a lot of fun. And present day, it'd be between two, and they're quite polarizing in the community. I'd say either Mason or Jorginho, because he is a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. So they're my questions, boys.
Quick Chelsea one for you, RJ. What do you think of the goalkeeper situation at the moment? Looks like Potter has gone the other way instead of Mendy at the moment. What do you think of that? Quickly.
Well, all I'll say, and this is my answer, make it of what you will, it's quite a handy situation to have at the moment.
No worries. We'll leave it at that.
On that note, take care. Enjoy your football. We will see you back here on Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. Take care. Look after yourselves.